Harry Kane on a plane. He's on a plane to Bayern Munich of all places. He's going to go ahead and win a few trophies, and we're going to let FM23 predict that Harry Kane move to Bayern Munich. But we're also going to be keeping a strong eye on Tottenham Hotspur, as Ange Postecoglou is going to have the reins of transfers and tactics of the next 5 years to see if he can win Spurs any transfers. Harry Kane has obviously got a massive move, and that means Spurs have got lots and lots of money. So the first season, let's see what signings Big Ange is going to make for Spurs. Well, I've got to say already, Big Ange has done some crazy things. Brand new goalkeeper OFFICALLY has left the club to head to Napoli. He's loaned out brand new centre-back Mickey van der Ven to Notts Forest. And he's also somehow fleeced Inter Milan 15 million for Joe Rodon. But my has he splashed the cash to replace Harry Kane, and Pedro, the Brazilian striker from Flamengo, is the man to start up front for Tottenham Hotspur this season. With Stanislav Lobotka coming in midfield for £30 million, his Napoli teammate Amir Amirani is also coming in for £25 million. Otavio from Porto for 20. Lucas Verissimo from Benfica as well for just £10 million. Is an absolute bargain, and he seems to be going for some absolute bargains in Portugal, spending £30 million on two fantastic Brazilians in Otavio and Verissimo. And to replace brand new goalkeeper Vicario is Dominic Livakovic in goal for just £7 million. Which means the best 11 for Tottenham Hotspur is looking like so, with Livakovic in goal, Porro at right back, Reguilon at left back, Romero and Ramirani at centre backs, of Lobotka, Otavio and Madison midfield, Kulusevski on the right, Son on the left and Pedro up front. It is a very different Spurs team to what we're seeing in real life, and one that's actually quite exciting. So the question is, can Big Ange win some trophies? Well, season number 1 saw the FA Cup, a loss in the 5th round to Liverpool. The draws don't get easier either, with a 3rd round loss to Manchester City in the Carabao Cup, meaning both cup competitions are out of the door. However, Big Ange did get Spurs back into the top 4, a league where Liverpool won the title ahead of Manchester City, Newcastle in 3rd, and Spurs sneaking above London rivals Arsenal and Chelsea, with Pedro, the brand new striker, back in 21 goals in the league alone, 38 goals and 4 assists for Spurs in this entire season. Is a fantastic first season for Pedro, but the question is, how did Harry Kane get on over at Bayern Munich? Well, he managed to bag 29 goals and 8 assists in just 49 starts for Bayern Munich, and was lucky enough to finally tick off his first trophy as a professional footballer, winning the DFB Pokal final, which he started up front and was subbed off. But the whole point of the move was to go to Germany and to win the Bundesliga. I'm sure that's what he's dreamed of his whole life, Harry Kane, to win the Bundesliga Pokal double. The question is, does he lift the mighty Champions League in season number 1? He doesn't. He gets battered 4-1 by Barcelona in the Champions League final, in which he dropped a 6.4 average rating, and Ferran Torres, Lewandowski and Ilkay Gundogan absolutely battered Bayern Munich. In season number 1, Harry Kane nearly done it. He nearly went to Bayern Munich for the dream to win the Champions League. But 2 trophies is more than Spurs have got this season. But season 2, let's see if Spurs can get back on the trophies. And let's see who Big Ange is going to bring in for his signings. Well, it was a much more relaxed season for Big Ange this season. After building his team last year, he seems rather happy. But a big signing in Ander Baranzetia from Real Sociedad for £30 million is the main summer signing for Spurs this season. The only other man coming in as Johan Bakayoko as a backup winger, I can only presume, from PSV for just £8 million. With the 2 outgoings being Brian Gill and Jed Spence, the Spurs team is looking stronger and stronger. Trubin has also rocked up in goal, Porro at right back, Van der Ven at left back, Romero and Ramirani in centre backs, Lobotka, Bentancur and Otavio as the midfield, of Son, Madison and Pedro up front. Hopefully this season, now they're in Champions League football, we might even see a Kane versus Spurs scenario on the big stage. Well, it seems like Kane and Spurs dodged each other, but Spurs did get knocked out in the quarterfinals to eventual winners last season, Barcelona, in a 2-1 victory for Barcelona. But Spurs back in the Champions League. It's impressive to see him even there. Bayern Munich, on the other hand, with Harry Kane, Barcelona becoming a bit of an arch nemesis for them. A 0-0 draw in the new camp, a 1-0 loss at the Allianz Arena, meaning Bayern Munich are out again to Bayern Munich, this time so close, and Harry Kane again in a big match had dropped a 6.5 average rating. This season he bagged 22 goals and 7 assists, but there's something you'll see very interesting about this particular Harry Kane, is that he is actually on his way to Real Madrid. And Harry Kane on his way to Real Madrid is not the weirdest thing that's going to happen in this video, because Tottenham Hotspur are about to lift the trophy, the Carabao Cup. A goal from Pedro puts them 1-0 up. A Bowie challenge, a ball into Heung-min Son at the back post for 2-0 for Tottenham Hotspur. And a Pedro penalty. He's not going to bottle a big match. He gets his brace, and Spurs lift a trophy without Harry Kane. Now, that is absolutely ridiculous. Harry Kane has won the Pokal and the Bundesliga again, so he's on 4 trophies. Spurs are on a trophy. I didn't think I'd be saying that in this video. Season 3, can Spurs claw back some more trophies? And is Harry Kane going to go to Spain and absolutely dominate? Big Ange managed to raise £240 million in sales. The number 1 being Oliver Skip to City for £50 million. Lucas Torreira, previous signing, has gone to Brighton for £50 million. Young left-back Destiny Ojoji has gone to Real Sociedad for £35 million. Sasha Bowie has headed to Dortmund for 25. Lucas Verissimo has gone to Shabab Al Ali for £20 million. Mickey van der Ven has headed to Bayern Munich's arch nemesis Barcelona for £20 million. Dominik Livakovic has gone to Al Nassr with Ronaldo and Mane and everyone else. Ramirani's gone to Al Shabab for 20 million. With all them outgoings, it was time to bring in some signings. And number 1 is Devin Wrench from Ajax for just 18 million pounds. Xavi Simons has come in for 48 million pounds, and in my opinion is an unbelievable signing for Tottenham Hotspur and is sure to be an absolute demon in that midfield of James Maddison. Ousmane Diomande from Sporting at centre-back is the replacement for Mickey van der Ven, and he is the chef's kiss of centre-backs, and for £20 million is way too good to turn your nose up at. The final signing of Herihai Sudakov is another unbelievable signing, a Ukrainian central midfielder who again is going to add some pure quality into that midfield. And with Son now leading the line, Barangiera at left wing, Maddison at right wing, Simmons and Otavio midfield, with Bentancur and DM, Sessegnon at left back, Porro at right back, Diomande, Romero at centre backs, and Trubin in goal. This Spurs side is taking some real shape. I mean, it's not quite as good as the Real Madrid side Harry Kane finds himself in, but Mr. Kane is playing off the left wing with Victor Osimhen down the middle, Valverde at right wing, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Mateus Nunes, Dumfries, Militao, Rudiger, Alaba and Courtois. And just to name a few backups, you've got Endrick, Raheem Sterling, Benjamin Pavard, Arda Güler, Vinicius Jr, Tammy Abraham's out on loan as well. They really didn't know they need to go ahead and sign Harry Kane, did they? But I suppose to rub salt into the wounds, why on earth not? Can Harry Kane lift a La Liga trophy? Well, they've absolutely smashed La Liga with 105 points. I mean, just a mere 20 above Barcelona in second place. They have smashed it, and Harry Kane up front has been a major part of that demolition. They didn't, however, manage to win the Spanish Cup, losing in the semi-finals to Real Sociedad. So just the La Liga for Harry Kane, winning 3 trophies. But how did they do in the Champions League? Well, Harry Kane has been stung by Arsenal once again. A 3-2 loss to Arsenal. Harry Kane even got on the score sheet, but Gabby Jesus stabbed the knife into the back of his heart, and he did not manage to get a Champions League final. So 3 seasons in, yet again, Harry Kane is not going to be lifting the Champions League trophy. But how have his old side Spurs got on? Well, last season they finished in 6th place with their brand new signings, and this season they've finished in 6th place again. But the weirdest thing to happen again, Aston Villa have won the Premier League. They look fantastic in real life, but winning the Premier League is not something I had down for Aston Villa or Unai Emery. I mean, Spurs will be disappointed they have not lifted that trophy, but they have lifted their favourite trophy of all, the Carabao Cup, in back-to-back years. This time a 2-2 win against Bournemouth on penalties. They scraped through to lift a 2nd trophy, and Spurs are massive. 2 trophies already. Harry Kane's got 5 trophies so far, so he's doing quite well as well. But the mighty Spurs, I think Spurs fans will take 2 trophies the next 3 years, especially without Harry Kane. Season 4, can they go ahead and need even more? But the question is, again, is Big Ange going to go mental on signings? Well, boss man left winger Ander Barangiera has left to Wolfsburg for £65 million, but the man, the myth, the legend, Ange Postecoglou has really relaxed himself on signing just 2 players for money. Daniel Kudikov as a backup goalkeeper. The Russian 23-year-old looks fairly decent. And Alex Pena is a young player, 19 years of age, with 2-star potential. So Big Ange just slowed things down a little bit, which is probably good for Spurs because they were probably about to run out of that money that Kane got them. The best 11 is looking very strong. Maddison, Pedro, Son, Sudakov, Otavio, Bentancur, Sessegnon, Romero, Diomande, Porro and Trubin. I think that's the exact same 11 as last season. But can we win trophies with that 11? No. Spurs have come crashing back down to reality. After 2 seasons of winning back-to-back trophies, Big Ange has got Spurs in 12th place. What has happened to Spurs? Pedro is not the man to blame. 25 goals in the Premier League alone. This man carried him on his back. Big Ange has not done bits because in the FA Cup, semi-finaled by Newcastle, Carabao Cup, 4th rounded by Wolves, no trophies for Spurs this season. What about Harry Kane? Well, surprise, surprise, Real Madrid win the La Liga Santander with Harry Kane and Osimhen up front. I don't think anyone is too shocked about that one. A big points tally as well, absolutely smashing it. And he's finally ticked off the Spanish Super Cup as well. A 1-1 victory on penalties against Barcelona in the final of the Spanish Cup. An absolutely massive one for Harry Kane to finally tick off. But the question is, Season 4, the Champions League? And the answer is no. A 4-2 loss to Liverpool in the semi-finals again, meaning Harry Kane has got to a final, a semi-final, a semi-final, a semi-final, and he's not won the Champions League yet, which means, is that move from Spurs even been worth it? He's got the season number 5 ahead of him. Let's hope he can go ahead and win it in season 5. We're going to go straight in to the results. Let's see what they've won. Well, Spurs got knocked out in the semi-finals of the FA Cup by Stoke on penalties, which probably makes last season's 12th place even worse. And what would make it even worse again? Coming 12th. Spurs are not good. And Postecoglou, without Kane, it doesn't look like he's going to win many trophies. The Carabao Cup, the one they love to win so much as well. They were second rounded by Brighton, which means over the whole time, Spurs have won 2 trophies, 2 measly Carabao Cups. Harry Kane, however, has done very well, winning a Bundesliga title, winning 2 of them actually, 2 Pokals, 2 La Liga Santanders. Actually, let's make that 3 because he's won it again on 95 points. He's gone ahead and absolutely smashed it again this season. In terms of the Spanish Cup final, they won that one, a 3-0 victory against Atletico Madrid. In the Champions League, has it eluded him this whole time? We wouldn't be surprised to know. Yes, it has. They didn't make it to the final again. Round of 16, it looks like, where Real Madrid were actually knocked out to Chelsea. Again, a London club stuffing it in Harry Kane's face of why did he move away from the Premier League. And Harry Kane ends up this season playing just 8 games, 24 off the bench. And I mean, would you rate that move for Harry Kane? 2 years at Bayern Munich, winning 2 Bundesligas and 2 Pokals. 3 years at Real Madrid, winning 3 La Liga Santanders and 2 Spanish Cup finals. Is that worth it? Let me know down in the comments. 9 trophies versus Spurs is 2. Harry Kane, was that the right move? If this is your first time on the channel, there's a rebuild down there to go ahead and watch. It's a great rebuild.